Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. Today it's just me and James, and today we're going to be talking about the next test at Headingley, 2-0 Australia. What can England do? But before we get into it, I think we just need to clear the air a little bit. If you're an Australian cricket fan, right, and you want to whinge about England fans and you want to complain about English cricket, then we are your outlet. Okay. We are here for it. And the reason we're here for it is because we're used to it. We complain about English cricket all the time. So just keep it going because we don't mind it. We're used to it. But anyway, moving on. Third test match at Headingley. James, how do you think? What's your initial thoughts? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be an England fight back, potentially win the test match? Or do you think Australia have shown themselves to be too strong and are defeating bazball now?
I think it's going to be another really good game. First of all, I think it's going to be close, whatever happens. But now that Australia have gone 2-0 up in the series, and the way they're playing their cricket, I think they'll probably win. That's my honest thought. I think the crowd is going to be electric. I think the response from England is going to be interesting, and especially coming onto the squad, which we're going to talk about. But I think Australia have proved that they are the best test side in the world.
Yeah.
Because they've won two relatively close games. Last game wasn't as close. They dominated, especially going into that last innings. But yeah, it's going to be really, it's going to be an exciting one. But ultimately, I think Australia they're the better test cricketing side, I think. England are playing very fun cricket, and it's cricket that when it works, it looks like genius. But I think overall, Australia they've got a better complete side. What do you think?
I think it's been, just going off what you said, I think it's been fun watching England play like this unless they lose, because I think you see the positives and the negatives of bazball, where the negatives are pretty low, because it's just obviously not worked.
But the negatives of what we were playing before was even worse.
True.
We were just
Exactly. So yeah,
so,
there's a silver lining to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think going into this test match, England will think, well, we're 2-0 down, we've got to show a bit of fight. And I think this England team is more likely to show a fight when they're 2-0 down than the team 2 years ago did. Whether that will stop Australia from beating us, I've no idea. We'll just have to wait and see. At the moment, Australia do look this more settled side. They look the stronger side in pretty much every department. So yeah, it's going to be tricky. For me, it depends on the pitch that's prepared. I mean, England have Mark Wood back in the side for Josh Tongue, which is interesting because Josh Tongue bowled very well in the last game. So I don't know if they've said he's being rested. So something's going on there. Another one of England's fast bowlers been injured probably. And James Anderson's also been rested, which could be a good thing. I mean, he was fairly economical at Lords, but he's looking far from his best. And I think maybe he's struggling a little bit. And I think it's the right thing for him to be rested. I think the major thing is Ollie Pope's injury has brought Moeen Ali back into the side, really, and they need to play a spinner at Headingley, realistically. What are your thoughts on Moeen Ali?
Again, I think he's the main spinning option if you're not bringing Liam Dawson into the squad. I think Liam Dawson is a better option at number 8, I imagine, or 9, wherever he's going to end up batting. Oh wait, he's going to be 7, isn't he?
It's probably going to be 7, yeah.
Goodness. I think Liam Dawson would be a better option, safer. Moeen Ali, he's averaged like 16 since 2018, I think. He's part of the tail. He is no better a batter in Test match cricket than Ollie Robinson or Stuart Broad. Those two, you can hope for 30. And that is about what they offer with the bat. You hope that they can get a 30. You expect about 15. And that's the same with Moeen Ali. So as far as England's tail goes, I think it's a long tail. I think you can have like people that can bat a bit, But if you have those kind of people from 7, that's not a deep
Yeah.
batting lineup. Like, I think if you card Wood at 11 or Broad at 11, then you can say, oh, well, we bat all the way down. But when you've got Ali in at 7, that's not batting all the way down. That's a shallow batting lineup.
I guess part of what you can think of is when you look at a team like Australia, they've got Alex Carey coming in at 7, who's more your typical sort of wicket keeper.
Yeah.
You got Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark. These are players who, yes, they're on the attacking side, but they're not going all out gung ho like England's tail is. And I think when you're as a bowling side, if you are facing a tail who are hanging around or you're not getting them out, that's what's frustrating. Whereas if a player hits a quick 15, 20 runs and then gets out, it's not so bad as a bowling side necessarily. And I think Moeen Ali, he's not going to last long and he's going to score a few runs, but he's not going to trouble that Australian bowling side. I don't think there's much homework they need to do for Moeen Ali on that front. But it'll be interesting to see how England's top order go without Ollie Pope in at number 3. He's been a bit of a mainstay there since bazball's introduction. So what's your thoughts on that number 3 position then?
So, I mean, it's going to be Harry Brook. And he's got a good technique, but they're going to bounce him. That's what's going to happen. And he's going to attack it. And he'll probably back off and punt it to mid-off again. I think he has the makings of a decent number 3 in terms of very solid technique. And he obviously plays an aggressive way. And that's what I would have suggested. I would have suggested that we move Harry Brook to 3 when Ollie Pope got injured. I would have put Bairstow at 5, which they've done, great. But I would have brought Folkes in and given Folkes the gloves and put him in at 7. Because I still don't think we're playing a wicketkeeper at this point. We don't have a wicketkeeper. We've got a part-timer. I think Ollie Pope could have done just as good a job as Bairstow. Bairstow is just completely out of nick with his keeping. As far as that number 3 slot, it'll be interesting. It could go one of 2 ways. I think it's likely to go the one way, which we don't really want, where he'll average 30 at number 3. It won't be something amazing. I don't think we're going to see a huge score from Brook. I would love to be proven wrong.
Oh yeah, we'd love to see it.
Because we need our top 3 to fire when batting effectively ceases at 7. And we get hitters. Like what we really need is Stokes to be coming in when we've already got 400. And then Moeen Ali can play a bit of bazball and, hitting and everybody's having a good time, beers at Headingley. But, but that does put a lot of weight on Ben Duckett carrying on getting his big 50s because he can't convert. We need Zach Crawley to carry on hitting 50s. We need Harry Brook to go big, Root to hold us together. There's a lot on those top order, isn't there?
I think what we're basically saying is that Australia are the sort of team that can kind of open the cracks against England. When you look at that bowling side, Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, replacements with Boland, even Nisa. I know he's not had a bowl in this series yet, but like he's pretty decent. I feel like that they've got the class there to unsettle England's batting. And like Brook is a very talented player and he's got a big future ahead of him. However, he's still young in his career. He's still learning. And this Ashes series is going to be testing for him. It's going to put a lot of weight on his shoulders as one of the great young batters in the country. So yeah, it's going to be tricky. And looking at that Australian side, obviously there's a massive gap there with Nathan Lyon not playing. But in terms of the balance of the side, that's going to stay the same because they're just going to bring Todd Murphy in, who has impressed so far in his international career.
Yeah. I'm super impressed with Todd Murphy. Obviously, I've seen him in subcontinental conditions. That's the only place I've seen him. But for a young guy, the head on his shoulders, he seemed like a very, very cool character. And he's very, very new to first-class cricket still. He's only played 12 first-class matches, but he is doing very, very good things. He's across those 12 matches, he's averaging about 26, I think. So he is, more than capable. And I see him as the natural succession plan to Nathan Lyon.
Yeah, makes sense.
And yeah, I don't think it's going to be a let up for England. I think Lyon is obviously the better bowler at the moment. He's such an experienced head and the shoulders, and I think England will definitely try to take Murphy on. But I can see him taking quite a lot of wickets because he wasn't phased by the Indian bowlers. I mean, to be fair, when you're bowling in India in Ahmedabad, then I feel like I would have
5
confidence.
for 5, didn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd have confidence bowling against Rohit Sharma if I'm on a very turning track.
I guess the thing for Todd Murphy is that when you compare him against the England spinners, he's already coming into the start of his career and he's probably already better than England's current spinners.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there isn't much pressure there. And I guess the only pressure for him is that England are going to look to have a go at him. But you could say that about any bowler in the world. England are going to look to have a go at them, aren't they? So there's nothing new there. So good luck to him. We'll see how he does. And also, I think when you look at this next test match, on paper, it just looks like Australia are the better team who will win every game. So I think as an English supporter's point of view, I'm saying England will win. I do think there will be a bit of fight back shown from England. It's not been like England haven't had chances in this series to win both of the first 2 test matches. It's whether they can take those chances in this third test match, take all the disappointment from the first 2 matches and turn it around. And that would be interesting to see. I can't really call it because I don't want to call Australia.
Yeah, I think as much as the heart might want to say England, the head is saying Australia. I think the momentum is with them at the moment. I think when we started this, we said it would either be like 3-2 England, or if Australia won the first 2 tests, 4-1 to Australia. Yeah. And I think that's about right. I think Headingley could be an absolute cauldron, and that could definitely play in England's favour. I think, the support that England get and the hostility towards Australian players is going to be quite high. So that could definitely play in England's favour. But I think I'm really excited for it. And it's going to be a cracking match. So let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen. We've got quite a high Australian viewership, so I can imagine what the comments are going to say. But
we're all wrong.
I'm really interested to know as well. And please don't just write the full Australian squad, but what would your joint 11 be?
Well, it might be the full Australian squad.
It probably would, but I saw a quote from Tim Payne where he was like, only Root and Stokes get into that Australian side. And to be honest, I don't think they're far off. I'd potentially have Duckett over Warner.
In English conditions, maybe, but that's a push, really.
I mean, it's obviously not over a whole career, but I'm saying at the moment in this next Ashes game. So let us know what your joint 11 is. We'd be really interested to know. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also follow our social medias. It's all in the link tree down below. You can listen to our podcasts. And again, that link's in the link tree. So thank you so much. Thank you for the continued support. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.